Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Venom, issue 35, legacy number 200. This is the final issue from the 2018 series. This was written by Donny Cates with Philip Kennedy Johnson on pages 40 through 50. Pencils by Ryan Stegman, Cave Walker, Danielo S. Bayruth, Ron Lim, Guyo Villanova, Gerardo Sandoval, and Mark Bagley. Inks by J.P. Mayer, Jay Liston, Kev Walker, Danielo Bayruth, Scott Hanna, Guyo Villanova, Gerardo Sandoval, Victor Nava, and John Dell. Colors by Frank Martin, Chris O'Halloran, Jim Campbell, Matt Milla, Alex Sinclair, Chris Sotomayor, and Richard Eisnove. Letters by VC's Clayton Cowles. Cover by Ryan Stegman, J.P. Mayer, and Frank Martin. Assistant editor Danny Kazem, edited by Devin Lewis. Executive editor Nick Lowe. Cover's okay, pretty good. It does kind of relate to what's going on. So Eddie is now in charge of the hive mind, and he has basically set them free. They're no longer slaves. He has them doing good works, restoring some of the things they broke, meeting with Thor, that sort of thing, discussing various things with important people. Well, it's taking a toll on Eddie because he's not actually in these bodies, his mind is. So he sits on this throne in the basement of this townhouse, and now he walks with a cane. And in most of the stories, he has white hair, but in the second one, he goes from white to blonde again, so who knows. Meanwhile, Dylan is hanging out with the symbiote, and Sleeper is taking the form of a cat and acting like one. Eddie meets with Spider-Man, even though he doesn't have any money and won't pay for lunch. And it just sort of goes like that for a while. We learn that the Maker is up to something, and that's obviously setting up things for a future storyline, and it looks like there may be an invasion from the Ultimates universe in the MCU's future. We also get a hint as to what's going on with a certain resurrected hero from a few issues ago, and we learn that a bunch of symbiotes are still on Earth, and they're being hunted down by guardsmen. Why isn't really explained, it's just a storyline setup. And Dylan has to stop Jack-o'-lantern because they can't stop using that guy for some reason, and that means that he's bonding with the symbiote. So Dylan is going to be taking over as Venom, it looks like. Overall, this was just an end piece. It's vastly overpriced at $10. I wouldn't pay anywhere near that much for it if I were to buy it again. The art is an incredibly diverse mess. Most of it is not that good and overrated. There's some decent art in here. You could tell where Mark Bagley was working on it, but overall, I would have to say that this just really didn't add anything new to it other than some plot hooks for the next series. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. It wasn't really anything super compelling. It was just a bunch of vignettes kind of stuck together that really didn't transition smoothly from one story to the next. So it was jumping around from good story to mediocre story, and they're all very short and loosely stitched together. This would have been better as one solid, cohesive narrative at a regular size issue and cut out all the fluff and attempts at being grandiose. And then it would have been a lot better. But then they couldn't have charged you $10. But the paper quality's okay, the cover quality's really good. It does have perfect binding, but the glue doesn't seem to be that spectacular. So I don't know how well these are going to hold up, but I definitely would not pay anywhere near $10. $5 tops, and even that is stretching it for me. So I'd recommend getting this one either in part of a trade paperback or as a dollar bin pickup, because I don't think it's worth anywhere near the $10 they're asking. It's not that it's a bad issue, it just really didn't add anything new other than some setup for plot threads of next series. And that's always kind of insulting to do that instead of just wrapping up the series nicely with a good little bow on it and kind of restore things back to starting point for the next team. Instead, they threw all these dangling plot threads out there that, quite frankly, don't interest me. So like I said, just pick it up out of a discount bin or get it in trade with the King in Black storyline. It'll most likely be in there. Beyond that, it didn't really add much to it and was a bit disappointing, so I'm not really going to recommend it unless you can find it cheap. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods, and as always, hope to see you on the next one.